You may have heard your pastor or youth pastor, maybe even somebody in your school, talk about campus clubs. And man, your school may not have one. I come across students all the time. They're like, hey, Kyle, I want to start a campus club. Or hey, our campus club is in our school, but it's struggling. It's not doing well. And you feel the burden, you feel the responsibility to start a campus club. So in this little video, I want to talk to you about baby steps, kind of the process, the initial phase of you starting a campus club on your school campus, whether that be a middle school or a high school. Well, the first thing is that you as a student have to be number one called by God. There's got to be that burden. I've seen so many students that just want to start a campus club and they kind of get in the middle of it. 3 months later, it dies off. Why? Because I don't know if they were ever called by God. They had that burning, that passion to really do something big for God on the campus. So number one, you got to be called by God. He calls us. He commissions us. He gives us the plans. When we want to quit, man, he's there to push us, encourage us to not quit. Man, I've seen students that wanted to quit, but they knew God called them to do this. They kept that club going through sophomore, junior, senior year, and they ended up seeing hundreds of students come to know Jesus Christ through that club. And man, that's awesome. And it all started because God, in a camp, maybe in a Wednesday night service, maybe it's their prayer time at home at 10:30 on Wednesday night, God says, hey, Hunter, I want you to start a campus club. How powerful is that to know that God called us and wants to use us to do something big on our campus? It's awesome. The second thing you need to do is talk to your youth pastor. Your youth pastor is going to be a viable resource and tool of encouragement, help, and resources to get you on the campus, to get you your meeting material, to get you all that stuff. Your youth pastor needs to be the backbone of what you do. Does he lead it? No. You lead the club, but your youth pastor is the cheerleader behind you, giving you all the tools you need to help. In fact, you need to look at your youth pastor and say, youth pastor, I need you to come to my club every single week to help me be a success. And if he doesn't, man, we got some problems, don't we? But your youth pastor needs to be a part of this process. The third thing is once you got God on your side, youth pastor on your side, you go to a teacher. You need to find a teacher and let this teacher be your sponsor. It may be your history teacher, your gym teacher, your theater arts teacher. Because why do you need a teacher? You need a room. You need a place to meet. The library, the theater hall, maybe it's that math class. You need a place to where you can meet on a weekly basis. You say, Kyle, should I go to the principal first, then the teacher? No. Like, get it in the right order. Go to the teacher, have the place already lined up so that step number 4, when you go to the principal, you can say, Mr. Principal Butler, man, we've got this teacher that's ready to sponsor us. And what you've just done is saved yourself some steps. You got the teacher sponsor, which is what you need for a club, and you got the room. It's going to be a lot harder for the principal to say no. So that next step after you got your teacher is meet with that principal. And I know it's going to be nerve-wracking. I know your voice is going to shake a little bit and your hand may jump a little bit, but you're going to sit in that principal's office, which is proper procedure, and you're going to ask for permission to start this campus club. He's going to say when. He's going to say where. He's going to say who is going to help you. And you're already going to have that together. You're going to have the teacher, you're going to have the room, and you're going to know the time you meet. So get all of those details out. We're going to meet on Thursday mornings at 7:30 before school starts. And then he's going to ask you, Mr. Principal, Miss Principal, they're going to ask you a very, very tough question. They're going to say, why? Well, then you can go back to that number 1 point of being called by God. Man, Mr. Smith, I feel like I'm called by God to really help students on this campus. You're going to begin to tell them purpose. And what's the purpose of that club? To not only tell people about Jesus, but also serve the school. That you're going to help with projects, and you're going to help with cleanup, and you're going to help with all kinds of stuff to make the school a better place. And when the principal hears you're there to help make the school a better place, it's going to be even harder for him to say no. Purpose is important when you're talking to the principal. So after you talk to the principal, you're going to also go through all those meetings and the dates and the plan, and he wants to see all that. And in that process of you getting that, that's going to help you on the outside get everything in order. And if you go to yausa.com, you're going to find all of these resources to help your club be a success. And then finally, after you told principal, after you told teacher, after you heard from God and got your youth pastor on board, you've got to go tell students. Like, no one's going to show up just because you met with the principal. You got to get it out on Facebook and social media and Snapchat. You've got to get it out all over the place so that people will know that you meet on Thursday mornings at 7:30. Posters in the hallway, tickets in people's hands. You got to do your job of making your club known on the campus. I remember one student in my district, North Texas, his name was Nick. Nick that morning invited me to come speak, and we're at the front office. We're getting little badges put on us, and we're about to walk through the school to go to the science lab for morning Bible club. And I remember that walk. It was a long walk from the principal's office all the way up to the third story of that school. I remember Nick walking through the halls, and every person that he saw, he invited. He's like, hey man, you coming to Bible club this morning? Hey, you gonna meet us? We got donuts. Hey, you coming? This dude Kyle's speaking, and all this stuff. Nick just brought this energy, this passion. It was baby steps, just making the invite. And man, if you're feeling that call, you're feeling that commission from God to go start a campus, man, know that he is there to help you every single step of the way. Your principal, your teacher, your youth pastor, they're all a cloud of witnesses to stand beside you. But man, this thing is yours. Take it, run with it, and win your school for Christ. And there's one last thing I want you to understand, that in your pursuit of starting Campus Club, reaching your campus, that you're not alone. You may be an Assembly of God student, a non-denominational student, and you got to know that there's other students from the Baptist church, Methodist church, the non-denominational church. There may be students from the craziest church out there that also have a passion to win their friends to Christ. And so know that you're not alone, and that when you take this step to start this club, they're going to come alongside you, be willing to help you. And listen, don't push them off as like, oh, you go to another church. No. Invite them in so that you two together as churches in the community can reach your school. Man, please know this, that during the tough days, the dark days, because there's going to be days you want to give up. There's going to be Thursday mornings when you wake up and you don't want to go to that campus club. You may not know from God what you're supposed to say. Don't quit. Don't give up. Those baby steps lead you to a point to where God shows his faithfulness. And this is what I love. I love it when a student's like a junior and they start this campus club and it goes all the way their senior year, and then they do the right thing and pass it on to someone else. They come back 5 years later, 10 years later, that club that they started their junior year of high school, it's still going. Look at the fruit. Look at the produce. But you say, Kyle, my senior year, we only had 10 students in that campus club. But you know what? In 7 years, there may be 50. In 10 years, there may be 100. You never know what God's going to do. And I just say thank you. Thank you, student, for taking the audacity and the chance and the risk, for having the boldness to start something on your campus that God wanted you to do.